What's up, you guys? Welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a chatty get ready with me video, doing this like very smoky glam purple look using the new Melt Cosmetics Smoke Sessions 2 palette. This is such a gorgeous palette. I'm obsessed with the first Smoke Sessions palette, and this is just like the purple version, and I had so much fun playing around today. It is a very gloomy, rainy, dark day, and you guys know if you've been here for a while, that just does nothing but inspire me to do makeup looks. This is another rainy day slay. I used to do those types of videos all the time, and anytime it gets like gloomy, rainy, whatever, it just makes me want to do like crazy makeup, either like super dark and smoky or super colorful, something dramatic. So that's what we did today. So I hope that you guys enjoy this video. You guys also asked me some questions over on Instagram, so I answer them in this video as well. So it's kind of like a Q&A. Get ready with me testing out new makeup. I've got a bunch of new stuff that I tried out today. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy this like 3-in-1 video. Please subscribe and let's just jump right in. Okay. Good morning. Oh my gosh, this is so freaking cold. I feel like it's been so long since I've done like just a chatty get ready with me video. First of all, this packaging is so beautiful. I feel like ever since makeup really like popped off and became so popular, it became so much about just like getting out new product all the time that brands, I think, just stopped caring as much about the quality of like the packaging and even just the quality of the product in general. This is stunning. Look at the detail work in this. Now, first of all, I've never smoked weed before. I don't care if anybody does. It's not even about that. It's the fact that it's like, it's just so intricate and detailed, and I love it. But the inside is what truly matters. Look at this. Look at these gorgeous, beautiful shades. This shade in particular, this reminds me so much of M928 from Makeup Forever. If you have been around here for a long time, like I can't even remember, maybe 2015, maybe 2014 is when I discovered that eyeshadow, and I was just obsessed. I put that shit all over my eyes all the time, and that color reminds me of that. So we're gonna play around with this today, and then I have some other new things that I recently received in the mail, and I thought, you know what, let's do a testing new makeup, rainy day slay, chatty get ready with me. You guys also had questions for me over on Instagram, so it's just kind of like an all-in-one video, and we're just gonna hang out today on this rainy day, have fun, and do some dramatic makeup. Let's do it. Okay, I'm gonna start with priming, and I am gonna be using foundation today because I have one that Tarte sent over that I've never tried before. So I'm gonna use the Embryo Lease Multifunction Moisturizer. This has been like my favorite thing to prime my eyes with. Cool, we're having issues. Awesome, there we go. This has been like my favorite thing to prime my skin with. I just feel like it's very hydrating because it's a moisturizer, but I don't know, I just feel like I actually notice that my makeup really sticks to my face. I also, to be honest, I just said foundation. I also just haven't really been wearing foundation, so I feel like when I don't wear foundation, my makeup just lasts so much longer. I really want to do just like a simple everyday fresh look for summer coming up soon, and just kind of show you like my everyday base routine along with like just making it very summery. But if you also want a video on like how you can wear no foundation but still look super glam, let me know. I think that that would be a good video. I've done things like that in the past, but of course my routine kind of just changes and evolves, and I try different things, so it is different than like ones in the past. So if you'd like that, let me know. So I'm going to be trying out the Tarte Face Tape Foundation. I actually feel like maybe I have tried this in the past, but it has been years at least. So I have the shade 29N Light Medium Neutral that I'm going to be using. And what brush do I feel like using? I think I'm going to use the IT Cosmetics number 7 brush. I'm obsessed with this. I'm going to put this on the back of my hand and then pick this up with the brush. It does look like it's going to be a little dark, but I don't mind. Wow, yeah, that is a little too dark. That's okay. It has been so long since I've worn foundation. So I've just been on my no foundation kick recently. So this is weird. Okay, so let me open up the questions on Instagram and see what you guys are asking me. First question, how's being a dog mom of 2 going? So it's going so well. I feel like we're finally really like acclimated now that it's been, gosh, it's been a month and a half now. So I feel like we have just really established a good routine. The dogs get along really well. Pretzel's really feeling more like herself from what I can tell. She's just like acting more herself, because at first she was just like a little bit more timid and shy and reserved, and would get jealous. And now I feel like we're all just like situated, you know, so it's going really well. Things that have changed have been the length of the morning routine. It just takes a lot longer now that there's 2 dogs, because whenever I take them out together, Petey just is obsessed with Pretzel, so he can't focus on like going to the bathroom and doing what he needs to do, because all he cares about is what Pretzel's doing. So I take them out separately because it's just quicker that way. Otherwise, like, he won't do what he needs to do. So that's the only thing. The other thing is, with our walks, I've now been taking her separately because Petey just can't hang. He gets so tired so quickly. So I end up having to like hold him half the time. Honestly, even more than half the time. So I started taking Pretzel on solo walks, which is, I think, is really good for her anyway, just to feel that bond with me. And I've taken him on a couple on his own too, just so he can like learn to look to me for guidance rather than like following her around all the time. And our solo walks together have been really good. So just a couple things have changed and, you know, been a little bit different. The first like month really took some major shifts in just the dynamic, but we're doing really well, into a great routine, and I feel like my life is ready to get back to like normal again. I feel like the first month it was really just like feeling it out, getting used to things, and now I'm like, okay, we can get back into like a normal routine again. And he's like so good with the potty training too. At first it was just, you know, a couple accidents in the house for the first few weeks, but now I can't even remember the last time he went to the bathroom in the house. I was taking him every single hour, and now I can go like a few hours and he's fine. Like, he knows that that's where he goes. So we're doing really well. I totally forgot I have these new brushes from Sigma that I wanted to try. I was gonna use that for foundation, but I already did that. So I'm gonna use this new one, which is the, oh, that's a powder one. I'm gonna use this. It's for powder, but whatever. This is the F08 from Sigma. It reminds me of the It Cosmetics Heavenly Looks feeling, but it's got this like wedge shape, which I'm obsessed with anything that has this wedge shape, and I think this will be really nice for under my eyes for concealer. So I'm gonna grab the L'Oreal Infallible Concealer. This has just been my favorite recently. I need to replenish it though, because I'm like pretty much out. What color am I in? I'm in 350 Bisque, which is the perfect shade. I just feel like this is like a, I was gonna say Shart, a Tarte Shape Tape dupe. I just love it. I need to like set this aside so I can remember to place an order, because it's just, it's so good. And now we're gonna try this brush and see how this goes. I've been using that setting brush from Real Techniques. This is also very nice. It kind of like gets the job done really quickly. Bring it above as well. I do feel like maybe that picked up some of the product, because I feel like I need to go back in with a little bit more, but that's okay. Next questions I want to ask is, what are my thoughts on the Tortured Poets department now that it's been out for a bit? My thoughts on it really went in a wave, because it was so much at like right at the beginning that I couldn't even comprehend what I was listening to at that point, because it was just so much. But now I would have to say the whole second part of the album, the anthology, that's my jam. Like, I love all of those songs. So I think #1 favorite song is So Long London. Peter, I love Peter. That's one of my favorite songs on there. That's like, I think those two are like tied for first. The Prophecy, I Hate It Here. Chloe or Sam or Sophia or Marcus. Fortnite. Florida. I feel like Florida isn't as popular as I thought it was going to be. I really like it. I think Thank You Amy is actually a good song. I like it. I think the only songs that I really don't like on the album are Guilty as Sin. I hate that song. I don't like I'm Gonna Get You Back. I don't like that song at all. I don't like The Alchemy. I don't love Robin, but I also just skip it a lot. I think I need to listen to that one more. But I would say that those 4 are the ones that I really just don't enjoy on the album, and everything else I really love and won't skip. So I think that's pretty good for a 31 song double album. Okay, I am gonna powder my face with my favorite powder, the Laura Mercier translucent powder, and I'm gonna use a little powder poof. Put that under there. There were a bunch of songs that got quote unquote leaked on TikTok prior to the album coming out, and they all ended up being AI, but there was one that came out ahead of time and I thought, you know what? This sounds like it could actually be legit. Like the other ones are pretty obvious that they're AI, but this one I loved, and I actually love this more than like most of the other songs in the album. I'll play the clip right here. When I heard that, the way that it says, "I love you, it's ruining my life," I just love the way that that sounded. So I was so disappointed when I found out that that was not on the album. I wish that one was not fake. So I'm gonna try out this new bronzer from Melt. It's the Ultra Matte Bronzer in Long Beach. Let's take a gander. I actually don't know what this looks like at all. It might be too dark because this packaging is really deep. We're a little dark. I don't know if this is gonna work. I'm gonna try it though and see how this goes. Just gonna pick up a little bit, tappity tap. Maybe do a little, okay, we will see what happens. I'm going in with the lightest hand here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is not good for my skin tone. Next question. How do you handle the pressure others put on you to have children? To be honest, I'm gonna be very honest with you. People in my personal life don't. There's no one in my life that like really pressures me or asks me. I did have friends in the past that did, and we just aren't friends anymore. Not for that reason, but it just so happened that the people that were always asking me those questions just aren't in my life anymore. I think anybody that is in my life isn't pressuring me. They're just like not pressuring me to do anything, and they're not asking. They just kind of know where I stand, where it will happen when it happens. I've never really felt pressure from my parents or Ruben's parents or any of like my true close friends. On the internet though, people ask all the time, and I just honestly think that people just don't have etiquette. I just don't think that they realize that it's rude or inappropriate. I would never ask somebody a personal question that I didn't know. I just don't think on the internet people really have that filter. So it doesn't even really bother me. I think people usually ends up coming from a good place. So it used to bother me more because it was a lot, but I think people have gotten better at not asking questions like that. But yeah, I think that if I had pressure in person with people, it would be annoying, but no one really pressures me or asks me or anything in person. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of diffused bronze light from Hourglass just to kind of blend this out. Because I went in with such a light hand, it still worked, but it was matte, so I need a little bit of like fade happening here. Do you ever want Botox? I'm thinking of it, but I'm scared. I don't know how I feel. I've never had it. I've never had fillers, never had Botox, never had anything, but I'm not against it either. As of right now, I don't plan on getting it anytime soon. I do think that I am aging in a way that I'm comfortable with. Like, I don't have deep set lines. I like that you can see expressions on my face. I like that you can see fine lines in person, but I also feel like I would maybe feel differently if I had more deep set wrinkles at the same time, you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. I think maybe one day I will, but at the same time, I don't know. I just don't know. Kind of like, I don't know if I want to inject myself with something. I think so many people do it, but it is still a toxin at the end of the day, which kind of freaks me out. I feel like it is so dark in here. It's so dark outside, so it's like extremely dark in here. Let me change this exposure. I think that's so much better. Okay. Wow, I should have did that a long time ago, my bad. But yeah, so I'm not against it, but like you said, like you're scared, so am I. I'm scared to do something like that. I've heard recently too about like someone who like got sick from it. I've heard like if they do it wrong, you can get like a droopy eye. Just like there are complications that can happen, but that's with anything. I think more likely than not, you're gonna have a good experience, but that doesn't take away from the fact that like there can be things that go wrong. As of right now, I don't feel any sort of pressure to do it. I was kind of wanting it for my masseter muscles just because I do clench my jaw, but even then I've heard of people where like they get it too much and it like sinks in their face and they look like skeletal. I don't want that either. Like I like the way that I look and I don't want to change the way that I look, you know what I mean? So As of right now, I have no plans to, but if I ever do, I will let you know. Okay, for my blush, I have a new one from Melt. This is called Nevermore, which that just makes me think of Evermore from Taylor Swift, which is one of my favorite albums. Let's see what color this is. Ooh, that's pretty. That'll be perfect for like what we're doing on the eyes today, like a nice neutrally pink. I'm gonna grab this brush. This is the F43 soft angled cheek brush from Sigma. I'm gonna try this with this blush. Ooh, this is a little dense. We will see how this goes. Ooh, oh wow, this is a pretty color. This is shiny. I don't know how I feel about the shiny. I do like this brush though. It is really packing on the product, but it's not like pop, pop, you know what I mean? Like it's just kind of like softly distributing it, but really popping the color on. Ooh, we like it. Kind of sort of reminds me of Margin from MAC or Milani Luminoso. Very similar blushes. This is a very similar vibe. This has more of like a cooler pink rather than a peach. That is something with aging. Like I would bring like a shiny blush like this up on my forehead and I just remembered like, oh, I probably shouldn't do that because that will definitely accentuate any texture on my forehead as far as like lines go, but it's fine. It is what it is. I want to add a little bit more color to my cheeks, but I don't want the sheen. So I'm going to go into my MAC palette and I'm going to pop on this one. I don't remember. Maybe mix these two together. I've been mixing these two a lot. I will put them down below because I do not remember the color. I should put like labels on this plastic so I can remember. Ooh, I love this brush though. It is like really putting the color on in a nice soft way. I love this brush. I feel like my nose contour made my nose look whiter. I did not do a good job on that. I have a Melt highlighter. They just like really hooked me up today. This is the Gold Ore highlighter. Beautiful. So I'm gonna put that on my cheekbone. Very pretty. It reminds me of, oh, what is that highlighter? Is it Heat Wave from Estee Lauder? Whatever, like insanely highlighty gold one that one was. Whisper of Guilt from MAC. It gives that vibe. Which I gotta be honest, is not my vibe anymore, but because I'm doing a full glam look today, kind of in the mood for it. Grab my powder brush just to kind of diffuse it. If your highlighter ever gets a little intense, gets away from you, always just go over it with a little bit of face powder and it will tone it down a little bit. Next question is thoughts on injectable medications for weight loss like Zembound and semaglutide. I've actually never heard of Zembound, but semaglutide I'm familiar with. To be honest, I really don't have an opinion. I think that at first when it came out, I wasn't very educated on it and I thought, why would you do that when you can just like take care of yourself? But yeah, I've learned a lot more ever since it started getting really popular. And I don't know, from what I've heard from like a doctor's standpoint, it's really not that bad. I think that from what I've learned, again, like I'm no professional, but from what I've learned, it's the compound ones that can be dangerous. But I think a lot of times like within like the self-love movement and just like the movement that we've been on after like the crazy skinny like 90s trends is now we've pendulum swung to the other end of the spectrum and people get very like triggered when talking about like weight loss or even hearing the word skinny and things like that. But we have to remember that being overweight and being obese is in most cases more unhealthy. For instance, like being obese can cause heart disease, diabetes, all of these different things. So if going on a medication to help lose weight can help with that, to me, who am I to say that that's not okay? I do wish that people would also learn like healthy eating habits during that time, but maybe they already do. You don't know. I think that it's easy to look at someone and think that they're not healthy just based on the way that they look when we really don't know the full story, regardless if they're thin or not thin. So for me, whatever, like my opinion on it is you do you. I really don't care. And I also think that if someone is interested in going on Ozempic or something like that, I think doing it in an educational way, like go into it fully informed on the risks and everything. Don't just blindly go into something and think that you're gonna be fine, everything's peachy keen, when like there can be complications, it can cause other issues. So just educating yourself on those risks is very important. So for me, whatever, I don't care what anybody does when it comes to Ozempic and stuff like that. Those are just my 2 cents. And based off what I've learned and understood over the last like year, I think what's interesting is learning exactly how it works. That to me is very fascinating once you kind of like learn the science behind it. It's fascinating. So my face is done. We're gonna zoom in, do some brows, and get to the eyeshadow. Okay, for my brows, I'm first gonna use the e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil in soft brown. And now I'm gonna fill in with number 3, which is a little bit lighter, so they're not gonna go too dark, but at least I've got that shape. Next question is about being lonely working from home and just like tips for not feeling lonely. I leave my house at least once a day, at least one time. I get my social interactions when I go to the grocery store, when I go to a workout. I also am really good about seeing my friends. I try to see my at least one friend once a week. So I really do try to stay active and get out of my house. Just because I work from home doesn't mean I have to be there all day. Yes, there are days where I like don't leave my house at all, but I do try to leave at least once a day. And I also schedule in a walk at least once a day to break up the day so that it doesn't all feel like it runs into each other. Changing your clothes is really good too, just for, I know this was about loneliness, but in general, changing your clothes when you work from home can help you feel just more productive and just overall better. Even if you're changing from pajamas to workout wear to comfy at-home sweatpants, but not your pajamas, like everything can still be comfortable, but just like changing into something for a certain something can help you stay productive and just feel a little bit more put together. To prep my eyes for eyeshadow, I'm gonna go into the Painterly Paint Pot from MAC, my favorite. You can just use concealer if you'd like, but anytime I do like a very intense eyeshadow, I prefer to just do this because I feel like it primes really nicely. I think that I'm first gonna go into Purple Skunk, which I'm sure that's something to do with weed. Anyway, this is the color. This is gonna be like the perfect transition color. So I'm gonna go into a Wayne Goss 17 brush. Up here, it looks like a nice mauve-y purple. Pigmented. Bring this on the outer lid and start working this into the crease. I really don't have a game plan here, by the way. Oh, that's so pretty. Because there are some really vibrant colors in here, but we could also go more subtle. So I don't know. So we're just gonna make this, just map out the base for the whole look, keeping this on the outer lid, then lightly bringing it into the crease. And then once a lot of the product is off the brush, I'm bringing it in a little bit more, just kind of feeling where the orbital bone is. I can like feel it behind there. Just kind of nestling my brush in to that bone socket of the eye and bringing the color there. Again, as you can see, most of the color is over here, but we've lightly distributed it to the inner part. So we've got a nice base going. I'm gonna use that same shade and just start building up the color. Anytime you take one shade, you just keep adding layers to it, it kind of changes the way that it looks and adds depth and dimension to the eyeshadow. Because you've got these layers, it looks like you have on multiple different shades when really it's still that same shade. Yeah, so I've never smoked weed before. I've never had a gummy. I've never done anything like that. And it's funny because now that I'm older, like I fully am happy with my decisions that I've made. I'm glad I never did it in high school. I'm not, you know, I don't feel like I've missed out or anything, but now that I'm an adult, I feel like more inclined to want to try things than ever, which is weird. I feel like you would think that like as you get older, you like grow out of things, not interested, but I've had like this opposite effect where now I'm like, I think of it as more of like I'm just curious why people are into things. So then I'm like, I wanna know why. You know what I mean? Like I never had that when I was younger. I was just more like, I don't know, I think maybe because there were people in my life that did do drugs and things that I was just scared of like the repercussions. So because of that and like drinking and stuff, I still to this day I'm like not really into drinking. So I don't know, it's just interesting how I kind of had like an opposite experience. Well, and I still haven't even had an experience, but you know what I mean. Okay, I'm gonna take this same color, bring my mirror up here, look up, keep my chin down so I can access this area. Okay, I like where this is headed. I think I'm gonna use the same brush and I'm gonna go into Black Roses, which is this shade here. This is the one that reminds me of M928 from Makeup Forever. gorgeous. Like, look at how purple. So gorgeous. I'm gonna take this and just push it here on the outer lid. I think now that I'm playing around with this color, I might grab a pencil brush. So I think this is a little bit more powdery. This is an A14 brush from Anastasia. There we go. Yeah, this is more of like a pressed pigment color. So a pressed pigment is gonna go on a lot. It's gonna be more difficult to work with because it is a more like powdery consistency. You can see I've got some fallout, which is very normal. But to get like a very vibrant and intense matte color, that's what tends to happen with those types of shades. Going in with a more dense brush like this can help really deposit that color on a little bit more, just beautifully the way that it's intended to go on. I think I'm gonna take a little bit of this on the bottom as well, right at the lashes, just because this is very vibrant. It's gonna go on not very intense, but it will pack a punch with that color. Take this brush and just blend that out. What am I gonna do now? I think I wanna take, these two colors are really standing out to me. Okay, I think I'm gonna start with Martian Candy. It has almost like this like duochrome aspect to it, but I think I'm gonna take the Monster Cookie on the center of the lid, but I'm gonna start with Martian Candy first. This is a MAC 242 brush. I'm gonna pick up the Martian Candy on this. I'm gonna grab my Morphe spray. It goes on a little bit more intense. And I'm gonna lay this right on the lid, on the front part of the lid. That is beautiful. That is like exactly like what I was hoping that was going to look like. That is so pretty. This color kinda, sorta, just a little bit reminds me of Stars and Rockets from Urban Decay. That one had a little bit more of a fuchsia duochrome to it, like a little bit of hot pink in it. This one is more true purple with a little bit of that fuchsia, but yeah, it just kind of reminded me of that. Oh, this is so freaking pretty. This is like the perfect palette for right now. I feel like the original Smoke Sessions was just such a standout palette that like nothing has really compared to it. And even though this is so different because it's a completely different color story, it just is giving me those same feelings. Just this purple specifically, just how fun it is. I'm just having so much fun. These colors are very unique and it's bringing me back to like 2013. My problem is when I do colors like this, it makes me want to whip out glitter and I need to like just chill because then every purple look I do ends up looking the same because I always grab the same glitter and then that stands out instead of like the actual palette. I'm gonna grab that Monster Cookie shade and I'm gonna put that right on the center of the eye. See how that just added that little something, that little bit of color? That was perfect. I'm gonna grab my Film Star Bronze and Glow palette and do my highlight because I feel like this is more silvery where the highlight that I have on my face is a little bit, it's not a little bit, it's a lot more gold. And I think this is gonna complement the eyes a lot better. Blend. I'm gonna grab the Black Roses shade and really pack it at the lash line. I'm gonna go into the L'Oreal Flash Cat Eyeliner and do a wing. I have not decided what I want to do yet for the lower lash line. If I want to do a nude, if I want to do a purple, I really just don't know. So I think I'm gonna complete the rest of the eye look first by doing lashes. I do have a new mascara. This one is from Rare Beauty. I think I've tried their mascara in the past and I wasn't the biggest fan, but it's been some time. I'm gonna try it again. And I do have lashes that I'm gonna put on top, but this will be a good day to try it out. So this is the Rare Beauty mascara. Let me show you the wand. Just a nice standard mascara wand. I'm glad I did it on a day that I'm gonna be putting on false lashes because this is not doing a lot. I love Rare Beauty. I just don't love the mascara. It's just very simple. If you don't like a lot of volume with your lashes or fullness, you probably would really like this mascara. And then for lashes, these are the Naked lashes from Ardell. These ones are the 422 lashes. I also really like the 421s. The 421s have more of a wispy, like smaller in the inner corner, thicker on the outer corner, where these are more full and rounded. So handsome. You cannot have my eyelash. I'm so sorry, but you cannot. Yeah, you just want your mom. We're gonna move on to the lips. Right, so I'm gonna use Deep Taupe from Anastasia. This is one of my favorite lip liners, especially if I'm gonna be doing more mauves and cool tones and pinks. I think this will look really good with the eye look that I have going on. Let me sharpen it. I've lined the lips and now very lightly I'm laying it on its side just to kind of fade that line into the lip. Just lightly, I don't want this to be like too intense. And then you can use your finger. Blend that in. So I have 3 lipsticks. Oh wait, these are glosses, they're not lipsticks. I think I'm just gonna do a gloss over the top. Okay, so I've got 3 different colors from the new Lawless Forget the Filler Lip Plumping Line Smoothing Lip Gloss. I'm gonna try Rosy Outlook. Kind of hard to tell what this is gonna look like in the packaging. I did a little dot. Yeah, see, that's not what I want. Let's just take that off. Only want this gloss so you can take it off. Let's do something else. I'm just gonna do some classic Honey Love from MAC. It's like a true nude. Very pale. I'm gonna try the tiniest dot of this velvet color just because it has a little bit more mauve to it. I just want like tiny dot. I just want like tiniest sheen. Okay, and lastly, I have a new setting spray. This is the Professional Super Setter. So I'm gonna try this setting spray because I'm always using Morphe. This is my favorite one. So we're gonna give this one a go. Okay, so this is the final look. I feel like the only thing that I'm not loving right now is my lip color. I want it to be a little bit more pinky, and it could just be my viewfinder because on my viewfinder it looks straight up peach, but in person it's like the perfect neutral. So I don't know, if anything I would want this to be more pink than orange, you know? So that's throwing me off, but in person I'm loving the whole look altogether. I love the blush, I love the foundation. Let me actually look at it up close because I've just been like looking at it in the mirror. Yeah, I'm actually surprised at how much I like the foundation just because, like I said, I'm so used to not wearing foundation lately. So I'm surprised that I'm loving this so much, but it's funny to see, it's so weird to see my skin so like perfect. You know what I mean? Not saying that like I look perfect, but like my skin looks like so full coverage, so blanked out, no redness, no discoloration, no freckles, nothing. It is just like painted, which I haven't seen on myself in a long time, but there's a reason why those types of foundations are popular because this is fun to see. It was so much fun to do, just like a full-blown smoky full glam look. I'm really loving how this looks right now. It's unfortunate I have nowhere to go because once I'm done with this, I'm gonna be editing. So wah wah. But I can't wait to use this eyeshadow palette again. I love everything about it. I love all of the nostalgic feels that this gave me. I think the colors are gorgeous. I can't wait to play around and do an even more dramatic look. Like this is basically blue. I can't wait to play around with this. I love this so much. I love Melt eyeshadows so much. They always do such an amazing job. By the way, this was sent to me. Thank you so much, Melt, for sending me this. Like, that's one of the brands that I've always been obsessed with ever since I tried them for the first time. And I'm so grateful that they find me important enough to send me their products to. Pretty sure all of the new products that I showed in this video were ones that I did not purchase myself. So thank you to all of those brands for sending me these products. But yeah, this is the look. I hope that you guys enjoyed hanging out with me today. Thank you for asking your questions and actually like being interested in what my answers are. This was a lot of fun to do. And if you want another like rainy day slay look, we've got a couple rainy days coming up that I could do another one. If you want like another Q&A, like I didn't finish answering all of the questions that you guys asked on Instagram. So if you want like a part 2 to this, let me know. Let me know what you're feeling. I'm kind of like in the makeup-y mood, and this got me even more excited because this is such a fun, full glam look, and it's bringing me back to like 2018, 2019 when I did these types of looks. So yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching and hanging out with me. Please subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye.